Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Don Williams.
Here.
Vic Anderson.
Here.
Chester Norikis. Roger Sprague.
Here.
Susan Walke.
Here.
And Kip Ward. And Wes Ryan is excused.
This is the time for comments from citizens present. This is an opportunity for members of the audience to bring to the agency's attention any item not listed in the agenda. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes per citizen, and the city recorder will use the light system. Speakers may not yield their time to others. As a general rule, this is not a time for exchange of questions. However, at the conclusion of this agenda item, an agency member can discuss or raise questions regarding an item presented by a citizen. The agency chair has the authority to reduce the time allowed for comment in accordance with the number of persons present and signed up to speak. Let the record reflect that Councillor Ward, or agency member Ward has joined us. Do we have any? We have a sign-up sheet. Okay, I have 2 people signed up. I want to make sure you realize you've signed up to speak at the Urban Renewal Agency. Robin Fleming, did you want to speak at the Urban Renewal Agency or at City Council?
She wants City Council.
Yeah, if you're talking about your application, then it's City Council meeting. And Jim and Diana Dunlap, I don't see them here.
Stephanie's indicating that the city council business.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is special order of business presentations by Public Works. Construction award at Northwest Jetty Avenue sanitary sewer improvements. Let the record show that agency member Norikis has joined us also. Okay, Lila and Stephanie, thank you.
Hey, good evening. I'm Lila Bradley, the Public Works Director, and this is Stephanie Reed, our city engineer, and we're here to talk to you about the award of sewer line upgrade on Northwest Jetty Avenue. And so I'm going to explain what the background of this project is. The project replaces and increases capacity in a sewer main line identified in the 2004 wastewater facilities plan. And it was listed as under capacity for flows from the West Devils Lake Road pump station. This pump station was the one that we recently upgraded to serve the future build-out of this service area, and that was the North End project. So in the Urban Renewal District report, on second amendment to the amended and restated year 2000 development plan published in 2014, this project was included in that report, and it was called Wacoma Park, the gravity system upstream of the Wacoma Park pump lift station, which is near Northwest 33rd Street. And it did not have adequate capacity to pass flows discharged to the system from the West Devils Lake Road lift station. And 2 options that are available was increasing the existing line or extending the force main from West Devils Lake Road. And the new construction at Wacoma Park will eliminate an overflow that has been a continued problem for the city. And so the anticipated project cost in that report was $750,000. And then we hired an engineering staff, HVH engineers, to analyze the system and prepare construction drawings. And they are the same firm that upgraded they did the design for West Devils Lake Road pump station. And so that was our engineer pick for that project. And so during the design, they determined that the force main was actually adequate. It's a 15-inch force main line from West Devils Lake Road pump station to pretty much in front of Pig and Pancake, and then it turns and goes down 35th Street into a gravity system. And so it was found along that section on Northwest Jetty Avenue, that was really where our capacity issue was, and also problems with that pipeline. And so that's the section from Wacoma Pump Station to Northwest 37th Street that we're asking to increase the size. And I'll let Stephanie go on with more about the pipe and the bids.
So the total project will replace about 1,300 feet of undersized pipe. Much of it is near 20 feet deep, so it's a difficult construction project. We completed the design and advertised bids for the project on January 13th, and we opened bids on February 11th. We received 7 bids, which is a good amount. The low bid was from K&E Excavating, Inc., in the amount of $789,980. The range of bids went to high bid of $1,020,761. So K&E was the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. And then project costs, the total on the next table totals the project costs to complete. The budget, while we anticipated $750,000 initially, $600,000 was the budget number. So the total project costs, including engineering, construction management, and the contingency, 10% contingency, is $886,139.05. So the difference is $286,139.05. The budget amendment resolution is attached, and that resolution is in concert with this proposal. The resolution asks to transfer $300,000 from one fund to another to fund this project. And so the city is recommending issuing or awarding the construction contract to K&E Excavating in the amount of $789,980, with a construction contingency of $78,998. Again, 10% of the construction bid, and with the budget transfers shown in the attached resolution. So with your attachments, we have the resolution. We also have the list of the 5-year capital planning projects that Urban Renewal has been evaluating. We have the bid tabulation for the construction itself, the bid tabs from all the bidders and the engineer's estimate. And then we just have the cover sheet of the plans to give you an idea of where the project is and the magnitude. So with that, do you have any questions?
Madam Chair? A quick question. I'm sorry, it's a technical question, and I should have asked this a long time ago. A force main. Is there a way to just briefly explain the force main?
Can I explain it, or I can explain it? So a force main comes from a pump station. So the pump station can be like in a low-lying area, and so all of the gravity lines go to that pump station, and then the force main is what's used to pump the line or pump the station. So when the wet well fills up, the pumps come on, and it pushes the sewer in that force main line uphill, and then it goes to the next gravity location and flows by gravity. And so it flows from West Devils Lake Road Pump Station to Wacoma in that particular line. And then from Wacoma, it'll be pumped again in a force main line to the next gravity location. And we have 31 pump stations in Lincoln City. We have 3 major ones, Wacoma, 3rd Street, and the Nelscott Pump Station. Those are our 3 largest stations, and now West Devils Lake Road Pump Station is right up there with it.
All right, that's what I thought. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and it's our terrain that makes it a little more complicated.
Just want to make sure we were talking about the same thing. Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
A question. When we budgeted for this, did we, I'm trying to figure out how we come out so darn high, so darn low every time when we're budgeting, and these things come in $200,000 or $300,000 higher. Where do we go wrong on that?
This particular one, the 600,000 it was really the number that was in that 2004 facility plan, and we should have updated that number in this budget line item, and so we failed to do that. because we knew the project was going to be more than the 600, so it was essentially a mistake on our part for not updating that number to the 750, originally in the 2015-16. And we were still in the design phase, and on this particular one, not knowing, actually which section of pipe that we were replacing. In the 2004, they were looking at the force main, and that was part of the analysis that we did in the design numbers. So that's about the best explanation I have for
Madam
this
Chair.
particular one.
If I could address that. So last year during the budget process, there were two parts of the discussion on these pipes that were part of these original plans. One was for the force main replacement, the other was for the gravity feed. At the time of last year's budget, we were going under the idea that it would be the force main that would need to be replaced, or that would need to be done. When the engineering, that initial engineering work came in, what came back to us was that it was not the force main, but that it could be done, and a better option would be to do the gravity feed portion of the line to have that upgraded. So our budget was based upon replacing one pipe when it was actually, when the recommendation that came back was that we should replace the gravity fed portion of the line. Now, if we were to redo this, what we would have done is to have brought the budget amendment with an estimate on the cost back to you and then gone through and bid it out. But we bid it out and then bring it back the amendment at the same time. But the difference isn't so much as a cost overrun of the estimate of the cost to replace the gravity. It's that it got changed. And so that's why you're seeing that significant of a difference of costs.
Well, since we only have 600 in our budget, then does that preclude us from doing the project until we change the budget, amend the budget?
That's what the attached resolution does.
Okay.
There's two parts that you have before you this evening. One is the approval of the bid, and the second is the approval of the change of the budget. Now, there's also another discussion that we wanted to at least make you aware of as you look at this. As you know, we did not use the $300,000 for the land purchase. We had $350,000, and we were not going to use that. So there's funds within the budget that can be transferred over to you, but you also have within your packet a list of the other urban renewal projects. And as Kurt and Allison have brought up in the past, we're reaching the end of the urban project funding. And so what it means is that because we're not using that $300,000 and we are recommending to use it for this, it will not be available for those other projects that you have listed in your packet. Does that make sense?
Chair. Ron, could I clarify that just during this budget cycle? Because
there will be
come next budget for next fiscal year, if we move dollars from the land purchase, why can't we put dollars back into a land purchase in the next fiscal year?
Because it's you could, but what you're facing with is the urban renewal funding, which means it's not like the property taxes, or it's not like TRT or another funding taxes that we keep getting year after year. We're coming to the end of the funds that will be available. And so that's why we wanted to put those other projects in there so you could see what they're looking
Well, I guess that's where I rather than just land purchase, maybe it would have more time to take a look at those projects. And that's where I wanted to make sure that we might move dollars tonight, but that doesn't preclude us during the next budget cycle to then look at all those projects again, including land purchase, and move same amount of money, but maybe there'll be different dollar amounts per project.
That's correct, with one little bit of an addition, and that's that the $300,000, if you don't use that for this project, would simply carry over to next year. By using that now, then the savings that we had that could have been used on whatever projects you were interested in will go towards this. So what you're really looking at is that from a budget standpoint, you're spending what you had planned to spend. But from the fact that you had a savings because you didn't do a project, and this one is now going to exceed what we were initially budgeting, the opportunity cost of that are the other projects that you could have done.
Yes, Mr.
So when you're over budget, it's not like we're losing, right? It's not like we're losing that money, it's just less of your things that of your project list that you can accomplish, is that right?
Correct.
But you're not broke, I mean, so if you didn't do this one, you could still do other projects, right, or not?
Well, and that's urban renewal, so yes, they'll still have 50,000 that will go toward, one of these other projects that the board,
Yeah.
once you reach a decision on what projects you're going to go forward with in urban renewal.
But urban renewal's project list isn't engraved in stone. We can change it, right? I mean, what I'm concerned about is there's a lot of the community when urban renewal was formed that was concerned about urban blight. And unfortunately, the urban renewal district has a different definition of blight than the common, thought of it. But I think there's a lot of desire among the community to rather do 10 small projects or 20 small projects that you could see that would really make a difference, because you bury a pipe, it really doesn't have a lot of impact. I mean, it has a lot of impact, but, not to the guy that's walking over it.
Yeah, that's to development, and that's DC fees, and, fees that go back to pay for water and sewer lines.
Right. So, I mean, for me, I have a stake in it, and that I really hate to see that money taken out of urban renewal, and because for a lot of us, that's the last chance we're going to get to really see some visible results. That's it. That's what I have to say.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Wright.
I move that we award the construction bid to K&E Excavating, Inc. in the amount of $789,980 with a construction contingency of $78,998, which is 10% of the construction bid amount.
Second.
I have a motion and second to approve the K&E bid. Roll call, please. Further discussion?
I did.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Wright.
Sprague,
Yes.
Walke,
Yes.
Ward,
No.
Williams,
No.
Anderson,
Yes.
and Norikis.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion carries.
Motion passes. That's right, there was 4-2.
Then the next item on the agenda is the resolution authorizing and directing budget transfers for the Urban Renewal Agency in the 2015-16 fiscal year budget. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that we adopt Resolution UR 2016-03.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve Resolution 2016-03. Roll call, discussion?
Who seconded it? Chester, thank you. Roll call. Sprague,
Yes.
Walke,
Yes.
Ward,
No.
Williams,
No.
Anderson,
Yes.
Norikis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. If I can find my agenda again, I think we have time for, thank you, agency member comments. Are there any agency members who have comments? Okay. Hearing none, meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
We'll take 5 for coffee or tea, and then we'll start the city council meeting.
Thank you. I printed it two-sided.